The Met Service hosted its 6th annual Climate Outlook Forum today in Belmopan. The Met Office engaged with personnel from sectors including agriculture, health, and energy to share the forecast for the next 3 months. Climatologist Ronald Gordon presented on what the temperatures and rainfall will be for June, July, and August. He says below normal temperatures and below normal rainfall are expected.
Below normal temperatures doesn't mean it's going to be cold. We have experienced very warm temperatures over recent years, so our below normal is going to be just a bit cooler than what we experienced, but still relatively hot.
So when we have below normal temperatures, does this mean it's going to be a little bit drier? Like, what can we expect?
Okay, the below normal temperatures is not the reason why it's going to be dry, but they are related to the same feature. So what we're looking at right now is that our region of the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic, the sea surface temperatures are below normal. And what that causes is that there's less evaporation, so less rainfall. And at the same time, cooler than normal sea surface temperatures normally translate to cooler than normal air temperature because the ocean cools the air. So those are the two factors that are leading to the below normal rainfall and below normal temperatures for the coming season.
Now this information will be used by all these stakeholders. The data presented will help them to make sound management decisions. Take, for instance, the agriculture sector. Principal Agricultural Officer Ricardo Thompson explains how agriculture is dependent on accurate and timely climatic conditions to make plans for crops and livestock.
Whenever we do our production plans, we have to actually look at what is the climate outlook, what is it going to happen, because if you look at the different operations that we carry out in the field, it has to do with land preparation. That is, it's dependent on the weather when we do planting. And very importantly, once you plant, we must have a certain level of moisture in the field for the plants to actually grow. If we do not have that, then we have to put in the necessary systems in place, and one of that is irrigation. Irrigation. And it so happens that in Belize we are blessed, not only with droughts, but we are out of rain. So we also have to think about drainage. So those are very important information that is actually used for decision making and what we are actually going to be doing in the field. But further to that, that is actually the aspect of crops. We go to the aspect of livestock. In the case of livestock, we also need to be looking at our pastures, because if for any reason the pastures are not going to be enough, then we have to make sure that the systems are put in place. For example, forage banks, improved pastures, systems that are actually going to be able to take us across those times of drought. I had a beekeeper right now indicating that whenever it comes to beekeeping, the pollen and nectars and flowers, whenever you have drought periods, it actually starts to dry. And then the bees actually start to undergo what we call stress. And if not properly managed, then they actually swarm and they actually go and give trouble. And so those things, knowing exactly what is going to be the kind of climate outlook for the remainder of the year, give us an indication as to what actions we have to take and what we have to put in place so that we are better prepared.
So what does this forecast mean for the agriculture sector? We asked Thompson if there's any concern for farmers.
What we normally expect is that June, July, August is usually a normal rainfall. What we heard just now is that we are going to have a 50% to 60% below normal rainfall. That means that if the amount of moisture that we're supposed to be getting during that time decreases, then we are going to have some difficulties in the field when it comes to our crop production, especially if it is not under irrigation. If it's a normal conventional way of growing crops, we are going to have some difficulties. So what that tells us is that we have to start to think to prepare ourselves and put these things in place.
Minister Edmond Castro says that the climate outlook ultimately helps to support development of the country.
Without the Met Department giving them the necessary and vital information, they will be unable to plan or plan properly. So forums like this, we bring all the farmers together, we bring the different stakeholders together, and it's very important for the development of the nation.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.